What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Sean O'Malley sends a warning to Chito Vera. The beef between Sugar Sean O'Malley and Chito Vera seems to have continued in the wake of their UFC 299 main event headliner. For his part, Vera has alleged that O'Malley's hair was greasy, causing him to struggle when it came to clinching in the fight. Now, O'Malley has dropped a bombshell on the Timbo Sugar Show, where he indicated that he has information that could ruin Vera's reputation. In addition, he also fired back at the former title contender for accusing him of greasing.
Everyone seems to just love this dude. I'm like, dude, that motherfucker's a fake. Chito sucks.
I mean,
Cam. Yeah, I know that people don't know that would change their minds on him, but I'm not gonna go out there and post it. The DM was real. I was in his head. I was his brain. I was thinking for him. And people are, oh, he's just family. F that guy, bro. And then he comes out saying I'm greasing my hair. Bro, I didn't even get close enough to smell my hair, let alone think what was like greasing my hair gonna do? Oh God, I wanted to. I'm like, be the bigger man. You don't need to ruin his life. You already ruined his career. Just be the bigger man.
While it's unclear what the information is, it certainly sounds as though it relates to Vera's reputation as a family man. During an appearance on the MMA Hour this week, Vera indicated that his plan is to return to action in November against Petr Yan. However, that could change given that Yan is headed for surgery after his bout with Song Yadong. Next up, let's take a look at Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya next. Since winning the middleweight title, it has continued to look as though Dricus du Plessis' first title defense will come against longtime rival Israel Adesanya. While a bout at UFC 300 wasn't in the cards, there's been optimism that the pair will throw down in Africa sometime this year. Speaking in an interview on the Hustler's Corner podcast, du Plessis shared an update on the potential bout.
I want to fight 2 more times this year. That's, for me, that would be ideal. I think Israel Adesanya is going to be my
yo.
That's the one. I want that fight. The people want that fight. In an ideal world, we want that on home soil.
He then sent a message directly to Adesanya while speaking to the camera, saying,
"So you claimed you want to drag my carcass around in South Africa, as you said. So be a man of your word and let's do it."
Of course, at the same time, Sean Strickland is eager to run things back with the champ after a narrow loss at UFC 297. During a recent interview with Helen Yee, he made his case for a rematch.
I won that fight. Dana said I won that fight. Rogan said I won that fight. That fight happened. Titty Izzy got knocked out by Alex. They gave him a rematch. Get that rematch. We won it. The UFC fans want it. Dricus wants it. Dricus doesn't want to win a belt like that. He wants the rematch. Make that happen, as of always, to the death.
So far, no word as to what route the UFC plans to go. However, from the sounds of things, a bout between du Plessis and Adesanya is likely next up. Next, let's take a look at Sean Strickland goes off on Conor McGregor and Jon Jones. Sean Strickland certainly isn't one to mince words, and this week's interview with the Schmo was no different. The former middleweight champ weighed in on a number of recent happenings in the MMA community this week, including Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall's run-in and Conor McGregor's ongoing struggles to get a fight. Strickland weighed in on the pair during the aforementioned interview with the Schmo.
At the end of the day, dude, Jon Jones is a piece. I know that. The whole world knows that. We don't need to reiterate his past. He needs to sack up, fight Aspinall, and just get the done.
What about Conor McGregor? Is he going to be fighting in 2024? What's the holdup you think there?
I don't know, man. Do we really care about Conor McGregor these days? I mean, he's a juiced out, roided out guy. I mean, do we still care about Conor McGregor? Is he still a name in the UFC? Dude, go retire on a yacht. Be done with your shit.
Jones's past has, of course, seen him arrested a number of times for driving under the influence, as well as his infamous 2015 hit and run, and his 2021 arrest for domestic violence after physically abusing the mother of his children following the UFC Hall of Fame ceremony. In the case of McGregor, it's remained unclear why he hasn't been booked for a fight, with Ariel Helwani theorizing that the UFC is icing him out in order to ensure he doesn't fight out his contract and go box in Saudi Arabia, while the promotion looks to secure their next broadcasting deal. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at Shara Magomedov talks about next UFC fight. Ever since making his successful UFC debut back in October, Shara Magomedov has been eager to return to action. Despite that, he has yet to return to the octagon, with fans wondering when he would look to build on the momentum of his recent win. Of course, many fans theorize that he hasn't been able to be nearly as active as he would like because US athletic commissions may not be willing to sanction him to fight as a result of his damaged eye. However, according to Magomedov, his next fight is in the works. As of now, I think it will be Saudi Arabia. The event itself is confirmed, but there's no card, so I'll push for my spot on it. Probably one of the top guys, someone who will help me climb the rankings. I want to fight someone who has a name and used to be a top guy. In addition, Magomedov also indicated in his interview with Red Corner MMA that he would be getting his visa in a few days, making it so he can travel to America. So far, no word as to who he'll face. However, he notably called out Marvin Vettori late last year. With Vettori out of his upcoming fight with Brendan Allen, perhaps the stars will align for a fight between the two sometime this year. Next, let's take a look at UFC Fight Updates. Heading into this weekend's UFC Fight Night, Rivas vs. Namajunas event at the UFC Apex, let's take a look at some UFC fight updates, starting with a heavyweight clash between Waldo Cortez Acosta and Robelis de Spain, which has been added to the UFC Fight Night St. Louis card on May 11th. The bout will see Cortez Acosta look to build on a 2-fight win streak that has most recently saw him dispatch of Andrei Arlovski in January. While on the flip side, former Olympian Robelis de Spain will be looking to build on an 18-second win in his UFC debut that extended his professional record to 5-0. In addition, former title challenger Paulo Costa recently took to social media, teasing a fight announcement. However, it's unclear just who he'll be fighting and when the bout will take place. From the sounds of things, fans are either hoping that a bout between Costa and Khamzat Chimaev has been rescheduled for this summer, or a fight between Costa and Sean Strickland is in the works. Stay tuned for updates as they become available. Next, let's take a look at Islam Makhachev is better than Khabib in his prime? Islam Makhachev's reign as UFC lightweight champion has now seen him successfully defend his title twice, both times against Alexander Volkanovski. While the first bout between the two was a closely contested affair, when the two ran things back at UFC 294, Makhachev left no doubt, picking up a stunning knockout win. With Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan, along with Justin Gaethje, all set to fight at UFC 300, Makhachev is looking to remain active and fight Dustin Poirier in the meantime, before shifting his focus to another contender later this year. Speaking in a recent video for his YouTube channel, Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier indicated he believes Makhachev is an even more dangerous fighter than his longtime friend and teammate Khabib Nurmagomedov, referencing a story told by Dana White regarding an exchange he had with Dustin Poirier following his fight with Nurmagomedov back in 2019.
Dana came out a couple weeks ago and said that when he talked to Dustin after the fight, he said he was freaking out, or it was Dustin or Conor. One of them was freaking out because they said they never thought another man could do that to them under Khabib because of his strength and his control and the way that he manipulated you on the ground. I think Makhachev possesses a lot of those same type of qualities, very similar when he gets you on the ground. But because he's a better striker, I feel he's even more dangerous than Khabib was during his prime.
The comment sparked widespread debate among the MMA community, with many agreeing that Makhachev's striking makes him a more dangerous fighter than the Eagle, and others of the mindset that Nurmagomedov's dominance was unlike anything we've ever seen in the history of MMA. The MMA community roasts the UFC 300 poster that was revealed earlier today. Fans are upset that the poster doesn't include any fighters or names. It simply just says UFC 300. Here's what the community has to say. Seriously, for this massive landmark card, this the best they can do? When you spend all creativity points on trailer and there's nothing left for poster. Not even an ounce of effort gone into a poster for one of the biggest events in UFC history. Didn't even do the bare minimum of graphic design here. I'll make better signs at work that either say, use other door, or the office will close early the day before Thanksgiving. I mean this with absolutely zero hyperbole. This is the worst fight poster I've ever seen. How very embarrassing for a billion-dollar company on what is supposed to be the biggest, baddest card in history. I made this in about 2 minutes, which is probably 1 minute longer than it took the UFC's graphics department to make the official one. Next up, let's take a look at Colby Covington fires back at Ian Garry. Colby Covington recently took aim at Ian Machado Garry, indicating that if the undefeated contender wants him to agree to a fight, then Garry and his wife must comply with the former interim champ's list of demands. Garry fired back in a video of his own, suggesting that the two fight in a quote-unquote "I quit" match, while shutting down Covington's mentions of his wife. In a new video posted on social media, Covington has now fired back at the Irish star in the wake of his rebuttal.
We all saw your cringy video, Ian. And they'll do what you're told line only works when you're the A-side or Conor McGregor, not Corner McGregor. Ian, you said a lot of dumb, but there is one thing that I'll agree with you on.
My wife definitely ain't no trophy.
Layla's not a trophy. She's a participation award at best, which is fitting for you in your generation. You don't dictate the terms here, boy. You're a Gen Z beta, and the only time you do any dictating is when you're on your knees for the nutritionist.
As Covington also indicated, if Garry wants to fight, he and his wife still must comply with his 3 demands. Open up the comments on his Instagram, have Garry's wife beg him to take the fight, and allow his wife to feature in the video for one of his betting sponsors. Garry also notably announced he was selling "Make MMA Great Again" hats to anger Covington, something that caught the attention of Khamzat Chimaev, with the undefeated middleweight writing, "This gay can't make his great. How is gonna make MMA great?" From the sounds of things, Garry has no plans to comply with Covington's demands, despite his desire for a fight.
Ian is a cuck. Step back up, Sean Strickland, a man who's unlikely to be au fait with the Shakespearean English he unwittingly used when calling Ian a cuck. First penned in the story of Othello, the word cuckold refers to the fear of a man who's been betrayed by his wife. Sean Strickland has been talking an awful lot about Ian Garry's wife. I've been called a predator, an abuser, all by the man who alleges he suffered that exact abuse as a child growing up.
Sean Strickland responded to Ian Garry's wife on Twitter.
What you want. You talk about me, I'll give you what you want, attention. I don't want to call you by your name, because if we know anything about demons, the moment you start using their name, it gives them power, and that's all you want, right? Power and attention. When you post a picture, this is why you talk about me. When you post a picture and you get those fucking fake plastic titties in that tiny little dress, and you realize, man, I'm an old lady. No one wants to see me half naked in a dress. You think to myself, how can I get the attention that I want? How can I get what I want? You talk about me. You bring my name up. You've never done anything. You've never accomplished anything. The only thing you've ever done is seduce famous men. And let me tell you why you're such a despicable person. Everybody has gone and went and forgot about this. We've accepted Ian, we've accepted you, disgusting it may seem, and you bring this back up and tarnish your husband's name just because that little insecure succubus demon inside you wants attention. Whatever succubus cave you came from, just f***ing go back to it.
Top comments. Chael Bin saying pay-per-view numbers and ticket sales are the biggest lie in the game. Ian Garry sucks. Wow, faking PPV is crazy. It's weird to see a guy make fun of people's depression, and now he's doing the same thing he criticized people for. Strickland becomes a rich celebrity, and all of a sudden, he's crying about how bad it is. Make sure to leave a comment, and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.